Have you ever had your anger management therapist rage quit during session? I started seeing Dr. Holloway after I threw my boss's coffee maker out a third-story window. The judge said it was either therapy or community service, and I figured talking about my feelings once a week be picking up trash on the highway. Dr. Holloway seemed perfect at first, soft-spoken, wore these little round glasses, had a collection of those Zen garden things on his desk. His office smelled like lavender and disappointment. Anger is just fear wearing a disguise, he'd say, raking tiny patterns in his desktop sandbox. While I sat there wondering if insurance covered this nonsense, our first few sessions were standard. He'd ask about my childhood, I'd make something up about being denied a puppy. He'd nod knowingly and write in his little leather notebook. We'd practice breathing exercises that made me lightheaded. Progress, he called it. Then came session 4. I mentioned my upstairs neighbor, this guy who played the drums at 2 a.m. every night, not well, mind you, just random banging like he was fighting off invisible ninjas with drumsticks. Dr. Holloway's eye twitched just once. Have you tried talking to him? He asked. I laughed. Tried. I've left 17 notes. He uses them as coasters. Dr. Holloway gripped his pen a little tighter. Sometimes we must accept what we cannot change. Then he launched into the story about his own neighbor who apparently breeds roosters in a suburban apartment. Illegal roosters, 37 of them. His voice got higher. Each detail. Session 6 was when things got interesting. I was complaining about my coworker who microwaves fish every day. Every single day. Different fish, same smell. The whole office reeks like low tide. Dr. Holloway set down his notebook. Fish, he whispered. Every day. I nodded. He stood up and walked to the window, staring out at the parking lot. My secretary does that tilapia Tuesday, she calls it, except it's Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday now. By session 8, we weren't even pretending anymore. I'd come in and we'd just trade horror stories. He told me about his ex-wife who left him for his meditation instructor. I told him about my landlord who raised rent 3 times in 6 months. He started keeping a flask in his desk drawer, not drinking from it, just holding it like a security blanket. Session 12 was the breaking point. I walked in to find him already pacing. His Zen garden was in the trash. The little rake was broken in half. Rough week. I asked. He laughed, but it wasn't a happy sound, more like a wounded hyena. My car got towed. He started from my assigned spot that I paid $200 a month for. The tow company said it was illegally parked in my own spot. Then my daughter called to tell me she's dropping out of med school to become a professional dog psychic. I paid $300,000 for her education and she wants to read Poodle Minds. I tried to be supportive. Maybe she'll be successful. His eye twitched again, both eyes this time. Then he continued, voice rising. I get here this morning and someone has parked in my spot here too, so I had to park 3 blocks away in the rain. Look at my shoes. They were soaked. These are Italian leather. And when I finally get here, my first patient, not you, the one before you, spends 40 minutes explaining why his anger toward his mother is actually society's fault for creating mothers in the first place. He picked up his notebook and threw it across the room. It hid a diploma, which fell and shattered. You know what your problem is? He said, pointing at me. Nothing. You have a normal human reaction to an insane world, and they send you to me like I have some magic answer, like I don't want to throw coffee makers out windows too. He grabbed his desktop Zen garden and hurled it against the wall. Sand everywhere. 20 years I've been doing this. 20 years of breathe through your nose and find your happy place. You want to know my happy place? It's a beach where I'm alone and there are no people with their problems and their fish microwaving and their illegal roosters. He started throwing books off shelves. Anger management for dummies. I wrote this. You know what the advance was? $500 for 2 years of work. The book went out the window, and this one, Peaceful Hearts, Calm Minds. My ex-wife's lawyer quoted it during our divorce. Security showed up just as he flipped his own desk. 2 guards stood in the doorway, unsure what to do. Dr. Holloway looked at them, then at me, and back at them. He straightened his tie, took a deep breath, and said very calmly, I quit. He walked past security, past his secretary who was eating what smelled like salmon, and out the door. The last thing I heard him yell was, and meditation is a scam. I got a letter 2 weeks later. Dr. Holloway had moved to Vermont to make artisanal cheese. The letter included a refund for our remaining sessions and a note that said, your anger is valid, so is mine. Good luck. I'm seeing a new therapist now. Dr. Brennan, she keeps boxing gloves in her office. First thing she said was, sometimes you just need to hit something that won't press charges. We're making great progress.